Hey there, guys and gals. You're listening to the Tempest Universe. This is the Tempest Universe.
Man, I hit that go live button so damn fast. I have no idea if I even captured all the information I needed for this episode. Welcome to the Monday episode of the Tempest Universe. Yeah, you can tell I'm getting old because I had to think about it, even though I just heard it twice. Welcome to the Tempest Universe, Monday edition, because Monday sucks, and I'm here to brighten up your day. But I'm not alone today. Today we have the return of the one and only Asgardian known as the Norm. And Norm, he's got this this new thing we're doing. It's called the Ejection sheet. Norm, you can chime in whenever you want. I fucked it all up.
Hi, buddy. The Ejection seat. Yeah, try saying that 3 times fast. I mean, yeah, man. Hey, it's great to be back. Nice to hear from you. I hope everything's going good.
Yeah, everything's going great. Just been a little busy here and there, just maybe too busy actually. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the Ejection seat because last time we threw out the gauntlet and said, Norm, what about that guy, that Deuce guy? And you took it and ran.
Yeah, I did. Deuce Bigelow. Robert T. Bigelow, in fact. This guy, I didn't realize how close to me he was until I started researching on him. He's been a busy guy all of his life. He really has. Another one, just like last time with George Knapp, is kind of an upscale guy. He's not into the news, but he's always been interested in the news. This dude's a 75-year-old man. He's basically gone to school for doing real estate and also some other stuff. Well, out here he went to Reno, University of Reno, ASU, and he got married to a lady by the name of Diana. They've been married 55 years. And all that time, he started Budget Suites, and he got into some pretty nice other real estate, as you guys might know about in Arizona, with the ranch.
Skinwalker.
Yeah, Skinwalker Ranch. He owned that for a bit, and he's been doing a lot of interviews lately. He also owns Bigelow Aerospace out here in North Las Vegas, where they are actually building some environmental places to take to Mars. So that way humans, when they get there, have a place to live, believe it or not.
Are you serious? So, wait a minute. So, are these things like pods?
These are pods. These are huge. The movie with Matt Damon, I think, Mars or something like that.
Yeah.
It's similar to the one he was using when he grew all those potatoes.
Okay, I got it. So he's not, Bigelow Aerospace is not dead, not by a long shot.
Not by a long shot. In fact, next part of this, I think I'm going to have to go down there and just have a little interview with somebody down there and see what's going on lately. But there's so much more to unpack right now before we get into his space travels and things like that. Of course, I think everybody really wants to hear about his getting into the the afterlife. This has been kind of the big topic with BICS, Survival of Human Consciousness.
Really, he should have put a D in front of that, to be honest.
I mean, he put up a bunch of money to see what's going to happen after natural death. What happens to the body? What happens to the spirit, I guess, is what he's looking for. That was actually a contest where people, as you've been actually mentioning throughout your podcast, that people could go in and write an essay for on what their thoughts were.
They can send their essay what was it? What how they think of what happens in the afterlife? They write it up and send it to Dix.
Yeah, and they sent it to, and when you sent it to Dix, if you got it there by February 28th, it would be up for consideration. There, in March 5th is actually was the cutoff date. So if you hadn't heard back from them, I read today that basically yours was out. So
oh, really?
I didn't get a reply. So my idea went out the window because I did
so wait a minute, you actually submitted to Dix?
Yeah, I not a legitimate one. It was more of a
hi, I'm
more
Norm.
of a yeah. That was it. An introduction to my dumbass.
Yes.
No, I couldn't
funny.
come up with anything better than we hadn't seen already, right?
Yeah.
The one I was thinking of was that movie Kevin Bacon line. Kevin Bacon, a long time ago, back in the 80s, they did a movie about all these guys who were in college, and they experimented with death. And
yes.
they
was
would
it Flatliners? Was it Flatliners?
Flatline.
Yes.
Flatline. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Flatliners. Yeah. So they would go under. They'd get be rated dead, and then be brought back, and then somewhere in between there something happened. But those are some of the just the simple ideas that I could come up with. I'm not a genius like some of these other eggheads who wear the pocket protectors and go out and study hard and but I am looking forward to seeing who those winners are, because those ideas have got to be pretty big and pretty outside the box.
Yeah, I mean, the big ideas for those guys that study hard at Dix. So here's my thing. Did you get anything regarding, back in the early days when he was just a little pup, a little baby Deuce Bigelow? And
I did.
Did you?
I did. He's fascinating because he tells the story that when he was 3 years old, his mother told him a story about his grandparents having a UFO encounter. Without going into too much detail, and you guys can find it, it's everywhere on the internet, but it really did spark his imagination. And at the age of 12, he decided he really wanted to be involved in space, so he worked it hard. Like I said, he went to University of Nevada, Reno, where he studied some banking and some real estate. I don't know when, but he made up his mind he had to have a lot of money to get into the space industry.
Right.
Good choice, real
yeah, no
estate,
kidding. Yeah.
Especially in Las Vegas, yeah. And then he started Budget Suites, He made a cookie cutter place where people he knew were going to need to rest their heads. So he built a huge empire on this. Budget Suites, I'm sure everybody's driven by one, at least here on the West Coast. Then from that, he in 1999, because there isn't really much to it. I mean, guy goes to school, there's no real news about what he did there. He did commercial real estate. He got involved with National Institute, Discovery Sciences, and fringe sciences. That was the one thing. I think he was heading there already. So whatever experiences he had as a kid hasn't really, he hasn't really shared that much of. He has shared that in his adult life he's had some experiences, triangle UFOs and such. I believe he was at one time with George Knapp and the guy who talked about Area 51. Talked about him last time. I can't recall his name. They went and saw some UFOs.
The guy in the silhouettes. The mad scientist.
That's him.
Yeah.
That's him, yeah. I can't recall his name offhand. Bob Lazar. So they all went out, and I guess they saw UFO. But that's in his later life, Nothing really out there about him in his younger life other than just going to school and, studying his ass off. I think it's because he knew he needed the money. So, there's a little bit of a gap there. Sorry.
Yeah, he's the thing about him is, and I know we kind of touched upon it at the beginning before we got started here, but I feel like he's a hoarder of information. Did you happen to come across the story about him getting getting all the information from the FAA of UFO sightings?
This is kind of, the new stuff that he's getting. I think it's, what was it? No, was it Rio? I can't
this is
remember
actually,
where
I think it was about 2 decades ago, actually, that he made the deal with the FAA. Oh, yeah.
Oh, a deal with the FAA. Nope, I haven't gotten to that part yet. So that's an interesting one because I kind of think he might be holding on to some information. What's really interesting about this guy is when he talks about the past, he doesn't really give two fucks about he really cares about here and now. In fact, when he talks about anybody in the past, it's about how it works now, right? He's talked about Nikola Tesla, talking about when Nikola Tesla was talking about how we need to grow our spirits a little bit, or invest more in the spirituality of things like we do with technology, that way, I think it has something to do with his age. He's kind of seeing the inevitable coming.
Right. Yeah.
And whether or not he's going to, I right now I'm on the fence whether or not he's holding information away, but it's worth a look into for sure, 100%. I'm on that.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot to him, and I can understand, right? He wants to figure these things out probably before he kicks the bucket. So he's got to hoard it and try to get some scientists behind it. That's why he made NIDS. But yeah, at the same time, this is a question everybody has, right? It's not just Deuce Bigelow, the space gigolo. So you would think that people when they get older they become like altruistic, and so they would share the information because they're giving back to the people. But I don't think he's going to go that route.
Well, you never know. It could be put in some sort of a colored vault, and maybe on a certain date. If he, and that's the thing. Like you touched on. Everybody cares about this issue. It's not just somebody with a bunch of money.
Right.
And ethics and things like that. Of course, they come into question, especially if you want to be on the right side of things when it comes to ufology or spirituality, especially spirituality, because you're touching so many people. So many people's lives
Literally.
are affected by. Mm-hmm. And if he comes across some information, and I don't know, you might have a point. Maybe he wants to hold on to it. Maybe he thinks he's deep secreted himself. Maybe he, I don't know if he's actually sent anything into outer space yet that can actually, probe things or anything. So,
well, he does all the probing. But actually, a few years ago, he created this expandable pod for the space station, and that's how the story came out about the FAA and his humongous database where he holds all the info. But so he had this
I see the connection.
this habitat that was built for the space station that was expandable. Kind of like a hotel kind of accommodations like that they can add as the space station grew. But I don't know what happened to that either.
Well, I mean, if you were able to take some of these countries and consolidate and put them together and let them, if they could work with each other, I think you'd have something going, because you got Virgin Galactic, who's got the tourism thing going. You got Bigelow, who's got the hotels, and you got Elon Musk, who, he just wants to fly by all that.
Yeah, he's got the world.
He's going past that. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a good chance that Elon Musk could have, with his SN10s and SN11s that I saw the other day, he could probably, drop people off at the Bigelow Hotel and Casino up in outer space, on his way to Mars or something like that. But this is, a lot of people got to work with each other, there can't be too much competitiveness, So if Bigelow's holding on to information that might be privy to an Elon Musk or a Virgin Galactic, I think maybe he'd share it with them first before he went down the ladder, so to speak.
Yeah, before he kicks the bucket.
Who knows? I mean, he needs them. And they they don't have any hotels yet. So I think if the three of those guys got together, that'd be a pretty good space party.
Mm-hmm. So what you got on the what's coming up next for the story behind Deuce Bigalow on the ejection seat?
Well,
sounds official, doesn't it?
Stuff. I'm all over this FAA hoarding information. So that's a good one. I'm going to get big on that one. But coming up, like I said, I'm going to do me a little bit of an interview with somebody from Bigelow or from the Bigelow Institute or the Bigelow Aerospace. I want to get an interview with somebody. I'm going to get some good information that nobody's got yet. I'm going to be bringing that to you, and I might even be there at the space that Bigelow Aerospace in North Las Vegas live. So we'll see.
Pretty cool. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the norm with the news from Bigelow country. Yeah, I really was surprised that he was out there in Las Vegas the whole time. That's just weird. But Green Man says he looks like a salesman. I believe it. He looks like a used car salesman. I think we lost the Norm. Norm, are you there?
Nope.
Oh, there you go. All right. You need the catchphrase before you get off.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm going to take my tie off. I don't want to be faking this stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm a blue collar guy, and that's what I like about this place. And all the guys who come on with Pucky, Green Man, Game Vet, Dre, and all of them. I can't say that I'd be interested without support like this, right?
Right.
Here I am, blue collar, trying to go up against white collar guys. Trying to get as much information of these guys as I can, and it's a big task. And I'm looking forward to it, man. This is gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
I'm pretty hyped about getting a bunch of people on this little ejection sheet. That way we can find out if we want to keep these dudes or not. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Give them the boot.
That's the whole idea. Give them the boot. If we can't put them in there, or it's either them ejecting or I'm going to eject. So, but if everything's on the up and up, we'll have a smooth flight, right?
Right. Absolutely.
All right.
Hey,
man, I really appreciate the chance, and I'll see you guys in 2 weeks, man.
All right.
I'll have this information ready for you. No doubt.
Yeah, I'll see what I can find, too, because I think you'll find fascinating kind of behind the scenes of Deuce Bigalow.
For sure. Something a little bigger than Joe Beefcake Rogan, right?
There you go.
All right.
Laters.
Manny, you have yourself a great night, dude.
Ciao. All right, That was the Norm, one of the Asgardians that you can meet on Discord or every 2 weeks here on the ejection seat, where he's going to bring you, kind of the behind the scenes, the story behind the story regarding some of these people that we talk about in ufology and now the paranormal and shit, because people want to know where people die, where they go and stuff like that. I don't know. Just don't know. If you haven't had a chance, join the tinfoil hat contest number 3. Get your tinfoil hat up there. I haven't checked it out. I've been so busy. Haven't even gone on there to see if anything's even up there. And to be honest, I haven't promoted it yet on social media, but I'm going to start doing that tomorrow. So get in there to get your votes. And slowly next week, probably by Saturday, I'll be announcing the addition to the original prizes that were announced initially. So get ready. Good stuff coming your way. This is Monday and it sucks, so why not start it out with this song?
Today is the beginning of the end and the start of a new beginning. Time has come to redefine yourself and let go of the demons in your head that have held you in captivity for so long. It's time to flip the page and prove them wrong. It's time for rebirth. Yeah, time's up to say goodbye to all the haters, doubters, and non-believers trying to bring you down. In the blink of an eye, you'll realize that there's so much more to the book than the page you were stuck on. Finally, you will be free to live a life you love living instead of the life you think other people want you to live. Remember, you're the highest authority when it comes to knowing what you want and what you love. So stop trading yourself for the approval from others. Ladies and gentlemen, weirdos and geeks, please repeat after me. I don't give a... crazy thing is what matters most to you. You'll be glad you did. Now start reclaiming your time and mental well-being by saying no more. No more. Say it loudly and proudly. In other words, you. I don't give a I don't give a I don't give a I don't give a
Listen, if you want to come on here to the podcast and share some of your UFO research, or if you have a story to tell, or you just want to come on here and talk some shit about ufology, hit me up. Let me know. Get on Discord. Hit me up on social media. I'll gladly put you on so that you can share some of your, I don't know, insight, if you will. I'm okay with it. But don't be nervous either. It's a pretty easy thing to do, believe it or not. Cleveland Browns, Mr. Baker. First of all, who would call their kid Baker? That just makes no sense. But yeah, Baker Mayfield reported a UFO sighting in Texas of all fucking places. I mean, keep your ass in Cleveland. I mean, we don't need no more sucky teams, NFL players out here. We got enough of our own in Texas. But anyway, Baker Mayfield and his wife were in Austin when they saw something UFO-ish. Yeah. And here's the weird thing, for the love of Pete. No, actually, no. The one UFO sighting I did have was in Texas, in the Dallas area. But I haven't seen anything since. It's been years, man. Years. But Baker no fucks are given. He went straight to Twitter when he had this UFO sighting. It's completely maddening. And he wasn't alone. He had a witness, his wife Emily, or M for short. God, I love it when you can take someone's name and just make it into just two letters, you know. It's magical. Anyway, this experience was a little bit shocking for them. And so they took to Twitter immediately. Now, as a football player in the NFL, I think that's probably the last place I would go to say that I've seen little green men. And mind you, that's not what he said, but that's the connotation of the word or the phrase UFO. The first thing people jump to is that you're crazy as hell because you saw a UFO, you got little gray aliens coming after you, giving you the probes, and things like that. But, you know, that's honestly is not what he said. He said basically this, and he said he's 100% sure that M and himself saw a UFO drop out of the sky. They were on the way home from dinner. For fuck's sake, does he live here? What the hell? Anyway, he's on the way home from dinner, and he tweeted about this experience. He says that they actually stopped and looked at each other, and kind of like a confirmation. Did you see that? Did you see that? And apparently they did. They saw a very bright ball of light going straight down out of the sky toward Lake Travis. Then he asked, anybody else witness this? It's kind of hilarious, right? You would think that you would not get any responses on Twitter when asking, did somebody see this out here in Austin, Texas? But he gets responses, right? Especially him, right? Because he's an NFL player. So I'm sure a lot of people are responding, wondering what kind of the good whiskey he was on. But no. The good thing is, even his wife, M, or Emily, she actually took to Twitter herself. And she says, and here's a quote, I won't lie, I'm typically not someone who buys into UFO talk. Well, shit, we definitely gotta write you off, Emily. But all I know is I saw something tonight that I've never seen, and I'm a little thrown off. That's just the way it works. You know, a lot of people, when they see their first UFO, whatever it is, sometimes it could be something that is very natural, or it's man-made and you don't recognize it for whatever reason. But when you see it and it's a UFO to you, you're just fucked up in the head. You really are, because your mind starts just running like crazy. You know, one of the things I did was I started going on and seeing if anybody else reported it. Did anybody else see it? There goes Bugs in the background revving his engine. Okay, that's what I did. So I could imagine that plea was for someone to certify for them that this actually happened to them. I got some comments, though, what they posted on Twitter as replies. One of them was, nah, Baker, that was me coming to thank you for being a wonderful quarterback. Really? Somebody did say, I was driving down 1431 and I saw the same thing. Somebody else said, Super Bowl odds increased by 100. No. Now, there is one person who actually said it was a meteor, bro. The truth is out there. Now, here's the thing. Apparently, this individual is not the only person that called out the meteor card and threw it at the Baker folks. Because Colin Coward from on his show decided that he would go to town and tweet a lot of craziness about this sighting that was reported by Baker and Mayfield. And he had an unusual guest the following Friday afterwards that came to Baker's side, believe it or not. Someone we don't really care for. That someone is Neil deGrasse Tyson, believe it or not. He was on the show last Friday, and he kind of confronted Colin Coward on his show about the overwhelming amount of negative tweets insinuating that maybe Baker and M were kind of, living the UFO alien life by tweeting these kind of things. Now, of course, Neil deGrasse Tyson, in his scientific methodology, did say that he had to define it for people. Let's be honest. I think people, for the most part, know what a UFO is, because it is what it is. It's an unidentified flying object. So he actually explained that to the crowd, the audience on the show. Kind of admonished Colin for going overboard on the reporting that this particular quarterback gave. And listen, it is what it is. You can't, you see a UFO, it's a UFO, that's all. Anybody who takes it beyond that is just someone that, just being an ass, to be honest. Just being a complete ass. To quote Neil deGrasse Tyson, he says, what else are they going to call it but a UFO? So give them a break. Yeah, really. Emily said she doesn't really believe in the UFO talk, but that's what it is. She could call it a UAP, but she's probably not that hip. She has no idea that they call them UAPs now. So UFO is what it was. Even Tom Brady got into it, and actually also went up to bat for Baker here against Colin Coward, telling him that he was a bit harsh. That he got himself some Twitter fun on, making fun of the Baker Mayfield. It's a weird story. There's a lot of people who are, reporting these kind of things, and it's not just regular folks anymore. We've had a bunch of famous folks, singers, artists, hip-hop artists, all these people who are now coming out, and actors and actresses reporting UFO sightings. MMA fighters, they're coming out of the woodworks. And it's a good thing. Now, the one thing that Neil deGrasse Tyson did say is that what What old Baker Mayfield probably saw was a bolide, which is a large meteor that some people would think that it looks like a shooting star, but it's a lot brighter. And they call it a bolide. And you'll see a flash through the sky, and at the end, at times, it will explode and really give you a sight to see for a UFO. Can you imagine that? But listen, Neil deGrasse Tyson, though we don't like his stance on UFOs, aliens, and stuff like that, which could be understood in certain ways, it's just he's a real dick about it when he talks about it. But he stood up for this quarterback, and hopefully, this might be a turn on Neil deGrasse Tyson's perspective on things. So I doubt it, but hey, you don't got to be an asshole about it. If the guy reported a UFO, he did. What are you gonna do? It's just crazy. Both links are in the description for these. This is actually two different stories because one happened after the other. God, I'm having such an off night tonight. Anyway, so look at the links in the description. Check it out. I'm sure you already heard about it, especially if you're into sports. But it is what it is. Colin Coward, step off. The new Silver Phallus went down to the launch pad today. But it's a crazy thing to see those things, when they kind of take them down Boca Chica Boulevard to get to the launch pad. It's an amazing thing to see. Now, this one, SN11, doesn't look any different than the last one, except that it's weird, but the steel has like a different color to it, like a bluish hue to it. Yeah, very strange looking thing. But we're going to see. There's a lot of rumors that they're going to fix the landing gear. maybe make it fixed landing gear instead of those little tiny nubs that come out when it's supposed to land. But the last time that when SN10 took off, SpaceX had cut the stream. So yeah, successful. We landed, and of course, 8 minutes later, the ship blew up. So we'll see what happens with SN11. But the story that we're going to cover right now is having to do with NASA, to be honest. Because I feel, and I've said this, I think Elon and the gang are going to be the ones to save NASA and the moon mission. One thing that's being reported is that the next Crew Dragon mission is actually being delayed by 2 days. It is now going to be taking off on April 22nd. Due to some kind of mechanics and operational things that are happening in space regarding the space shuttle, things are being delayed by a couple of days. Now, what's fascinating here is that the Crew Dragon 2 is actually going to remain in orbit with the space station for 6 months. I can't imagine, even as a scientist or a space jockey, to ever want to just sit up there for fucking 6 months, just rotating around the planet. Like, freak, just send me up there and let me come back down. I just want to visit. There should be a mission up there to find, things that are being hidden there by people who sneak up, body ashes. I'm not going to say anything about it. I think it should be something they do would have nothing to fucking do. We know already these astronauts, they like to do their own little experiments on their off time. So I would not be surprised if this is something that's on there for people to go kind of like on a scavenger hunt looking for ashes. But anyway, that is what's happening. Now, another interesting thing about the second Crew Dragon mission to the space station is that if you remember, the two astronauts from Crew 1 was Bob and Doug, the dream team, the demo crew. For fuck's sake, I would not want to be on a ship that's called a demo. But Bob and Doug, turns out Bob's wife is going to be one of the astronauts on the Crew Dragon 2. Isn't that crazy? This is like one of those fairy tale stories that we can now attach to NASA. This married couple, astronauts, scientists, one is a demo, the other one is going to be up there for 6 months. We do a lot of things. Well, astronauts do a lot of things in the name of science. So it'll be hopefully a fantastic flight on April 22nd. Hopefully it doesn't get put back again, because there is this feeling among people who are looking at NASA and things like the moon landing and everything else that comes with it. There's a feeling that things are going to be delayed. That there's a pushback due to certain space policies, and of course money, right? Money is a big thing. That's not coming to fruition. It's not the same thing anymore. It's not like when there was a space race against the Russians. No, we've got no one to fucking to race against because everybody's up on it. Everybody seems to be on the same footing. Well, nearly, close to, almost, but close enough. There's 2 articles on here. One is about the delay for the Crew Dragon 2 mission heading up to the space station by 2 days. But then there's also one about Mission Artemis. The Artemis mission that's supposed to get astronauts back to the moon with boots on the ground. That also apparently is being delayed. Back in December 2017, President Donald Trump signed the Space Policy Directive 1. This policy was the one that said, hey, NASA, stop fucking around. We want you to take all your resources, bigly, and focus on landing on the moon by 2024. Well, that's how Artemis came out the same year. And of course, Biden signed up for it, right? Biden's like, oh, go. I wish I had that song right now. Biden's all for it. Let's do this. The problem is that even though he's like, yeah, let's do this, the budget recently, where NASA requested $3.2 billion, they didn't get all the money. No. They did not. As a matter of fact, one of the things that was part of that budget was the development of the human lander system. That's where you put everyone that's going to the moon. And no, they didn't get it. So now what? I mean, no one has officially announced that this whole Artemis and moon landing is not going to happen in 2024. But we get that. We see it slowly returning our way, especially from a government side. We're kind of putting the brakes. We're pumping the brakes a little bit, right? It's almost like they're trying to see what happens with Elon Musk, SpaceX, and everyone else around the world. But you can't do that because what happens if Elon fails? What if he blows up all of Boca Chica? Then what? What are we going to do then, NASA? One of the other things that was coming out of this Artemis program was kind of like an international venture called the Lunar Gateway. And basically it was an outpost on the moon that was going to be built by an international team. But again, the policies have changed. And so that particular project out of Artemis is also being delayed. Nobody wants to do shit with each other. Come on. This is the world we live in. I mean, 6 feet apart, please. So right now, we don't know where Artemis is going. And we don't even know what the impact is going to be on Elon Musk and his Starship program. Because I would imagine being funded by the government, they get funding from the government, SpaceX does. Hell, good old-fashioned Elon and the gang. I mean, they've got Space Force contract right now for Starships. So I would imagine that our little Starship program in SpaceX may continue on the current path it's going, but the government and the moon landing is going to be delayed. And listen, I'm thinking it's not going to happen to the 2030s. Fuck everything else. I mean, the delays are going to be significant. Let's be honest about it. So we'll see what happens. This particular article that's in this description, which is from space.com, actually goes all the way back. It gives you the entire history from the Apollo missions. It takes you to all the bureaucracy all the way up to Artemis. It's a really good story if you want to find out how a lot of these policies, even going back to Obama, were being approved and then shut down because a lot of what NASA was putting forward as a program just wasn't viable. Just wouldn't work. It would cost too much money. But then we had a new player come into the mist, join the gorillas in the mist. And that guy's name was Elon Musk. And he kind of changed a lot of the way that the government was seeing not only space travel, but the future of NASA itself. There was even a time a few years ago where Congress did not want to give up money for things like SpaceX and stuff like that because they wanted complete ownership. They felt that the United States needed to own all the rights to Starship. That it couldn't just be a commercial enterprise that would own Starship entirely. So it's a long history of a lot of BS, bureaucracy, red tape, all that nonsense. But hopefully our man on the ground, Elon Musk, can survive this. And who knows, maybe the first vehicle on the moon will be a Starship and not anything that comes out of Project Artemis. Pretty sad for NASA, but a win for everybody else, I'm sure.
I've been wandering down the same road back in
film contains adult language. There are 17 swear words carefully placed throughout. Kids, can you find them?
I'll be honest, even though I've said for probably almost a month now that it seems like NASA is losing it. They're not going to be able to keep their timelines. It's kind of sad, right? Because the fucking moon is right there. I think that's what really upsets me. We already were there, or weren't we? Or did we? Or did we not? Did we? Why can't you just go back? You know, they show all these, they have all these little stories about how shitty the Apollo capsules were. But for fuck's sake, if they were shitty then, why can't we go now? Get the damn shitty shit out of the museum, just paint them, and let's throw them up there. I mean, why we gotta wait? It's disappointing, I think it is. Maybe that's what it is. It kind of leans people towards the idea that, for fuck's sake, maybe we didn't go to the moon. Maybe that's what happened. Because why is it so difficult? Just get your shit together. You have plenty of years since the space shuttle program ended to get this thing going. But, you know, apparently nothing's that easy. When you have billions of trillions of dollars, it takes more money. Oh, yeah, and by the way, they do blame COVID-19 for this because people had to work remote. Just in case anybody was wondering. But for real, during the height of COVID-19, I would still go outside and watch people not even wear a fucking mask and just go about their business. Scientists can do that too. Come on. Shit, they can make their own vaccines, to be honest. I don't know, Monday, just another manic Monday for me, I guess. I don't feel lighthearted. I feel serious about this stuff, but this story is going to get you because Elon Musk wants to rename Boca Chica to Starbase. Starbase City. 49-year-old CEO, bagajillionaire. He's not just a regular billionaire, he's a bagajillionaire. Yeah, he says, listen, I own this fucking town now. I make people run from their houses whenever I shoot up one of my silver phalluses. I mean, come on. These are all my bitches here. And so I decided when I was chilling here with my son, bling bling blang blang choo choo, I decided that me and my boy, should own Boca Chica. Make it our own place. Make it our town. So yeah, apparently he wants to rename it Starbase City. Now, it's funny because, when he tweets stuff like this, people take it like, go Elon. You're so fucking crazy, Elon. You're just a regular spaceman, aren't you? But he's serious. Like he jokes about this stuff, but it's some serious business. His tweet says, creating the city of Starbase, Texas. That's what he wrote. And then he says a second tweet after that, from thence to Mars and hence to stars. So people were like, he's fucking crazy. What the? Now he's first going after this doggy Bitcoin, and then he's talking about the Tesla truck, and now he wants to take over fucking Boca Chica. There is not one person down there that's happy about that, I'm sure. Well, listen, anyone that camps out down there to shoot those damn videos of the prototypes, I'm sure they're happy about it. They don't give no fucks, to be honest. But he took a picture, right? It was himself and Grimes and their son, Ching Ching Pow Pow. And under it said Starbase, Texas. So he's not fucking around, folks. He's serious about this. How serious is this, are you asking? Well, apparently, according to Bloomberg, that Cameron County Judge Eddie Trevino, which actually, if you look at the road closures for Boca Chica, whenever they're going to do testing, it's signed, the majority of them, by Judge Eddie Trevino. It turns out that apparently one of these SpaceX representatives just kind of casually said to the judge, hey, Judgey, what do you think about changing the name, incorporating Boca Chica into a new town and rename it? That's not a passing freaking casual conversation. Nobody fucking goes around asking, hey, can I rename New York? Can we just rename Dallas to something else? Cowboy City? No. That's not a cap. Come on, Judge. You can't be that retarded. Sorry. That's not a PC word to say. You can't be that simple. I mean, let's be honest. No one walks up to a judge and casually says, hey, we want to change the name of Boca Chica to Starbase. What do you think? Just kidding. The judge apparently got wind of the tweets by Elon, and so he kind of responded to the news. Because, it's Judge Trevino, right? He's the law. I am the law. Basically, that's what he is. He says sending a tweet doesn't make it so. They have a lot of hoops and hurdles to go through before they can make it so. Little Star Trek reference, I think. And he says, I think they may be getting a little ahead of themselves. He's not, Judge. He's actually way ahead of you. Some attorney somewhere has already drawn up the paperwork to get this ball rolling. Trust me, Judge Trevino. You are probably 5 steps behind Elon Musk, and you're going to have to rename the court you're in to Starbase Court. Yeah, and you're going to be probably number 2. You won't even get number 1 as far as where you sit at on the court because you are just not cutting it. You're not. So it'll be fascinating to see with all the plans that Elon has down there of expanding the testing, having those offshore landing barges, oil refinery things out there, whatever the fuck it is, and the new resort that he plans to build out there for SpaceX. It'll be fascinating if he's able to just buy the whole fucking county. Just buy it up. Raise the taxes on all those people in Boca Chica to stay behind to the point where they have to leave. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know what he's going to do. But I have a feeling that this is not just bullshit talk. I have a feeling old Musk is about to buy Boca Chica all for his own damn self. Completely nuts. This is the end of this podcast. I just don't know what's happening today. I'm a little off, I think. But, I think by and large, space news is a little depressing right now. Are we going to see this moon shot, the return to the moon, kind of be put off for a couple of years? It's very possible. Really, if you look at the timelines, you almost can't even deny it. But it is what it is. I thank you guys for listening. Don't forget the tinfoil hat contest. The links are in the description. Go ahead, submit your most perfect, most useful, functional tinfoil hat. And don't let Elon stick that chip in the back of your head. Protect yourself. Be safe. We'll be back Wednesday. Ciao.
I'm sturdy like a Millie Rocket. Skin clear, still look young, Andy Miller knockers. Money in my pocket. Don't call me a money pocket. Engine get to rocket. It sound like a thunder rocket. Yeah, I still love my baby even when it's toxic. Crazy like she Britney, but no, she don't shade the noggin. Russell Wilson way I get low and stay in the pocket. I get paid and do my dance like a touchdown. Yeah, I can't do no time to leave that gun around. In my teens we were acting up and running around. Now we're grown, still get to it if it's necessary. On the ground from January to January. Never met nobody who retired when they were young. So I guess I gotta get it to the cemetery. Getting paid just for rapping is fun. I lit up around the month of February. Told him side, no electric. It's getting hectic. 777. 777. Yeah. Told him slide, no electric. Yeah. It's getting hectic. 777. Yeah. 777. Couple of them one in my head just to say they did it. Can't lie, I'm so paranoid and the windows tinted. I own everything around me, you can say it's rented. Not talking phone numbers when I'm talking 7 digits. Earn it by the day, every second minute. Used to pay me none, look, now they pay attention. Everybody say they drip, but I banded it. See them copy all the looks, but I stay switching. Pick up the loot, then hit the bank. Can't never change, still wrote the change. Captain say the pay, this ain't the day. They made me wait, I'm breaking chains. Yeah, yeah. Tell me feeling bubbly up the rose. Took a minute, but I got it out the soul way. Friends turn to foes, haters tell them go away. Rappers making shiggy dance like a soul train. Told them slide, no electric. Yeah, it's getting hectic. 777. Yeah, 777. Yeah, told them slide, no electric. Yeah, it's getting hectic. 777. Yeah, 777.
Surrender your ships. We will add your biological and technological distinctiveness to our own. Your culture will adapt to service us. Resistance is futile.